Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to apply for a bridging open work permit after you have successfully submitted your PR application. So let's start here. So first thing you guys are going to do is log in into your IRCC secure account using your GC key credentials. So once you're in the account, you can actually start a new application by clicking on apply to come to Canada. So just click there and now it's gonna ask you about your personal reference code. A lot of us don't know what this is, and it's okay. We can just answer a bunch of questions that can help us generate personal document checklists. So I'm just going to do that. So just click here where it says determine your eligibility and apply online. Click on visitor visa, study and work permit. Now let's answer some of these questions. So what would you like to do in Canada? So obviously I'm on a work permit, so I'm just going to keep, I just want to keep working, so just want to click on the work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? So temporarily, more than 6 months. So it can take up to 6 months for my express entry final results to come out. So just temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. So for me, I'm an Indian, so India. Just you can select your country there. So what is your current country or territory of residence? So I'm already in Canada, so I'm just going to select Canada here. So do you have a family member who's a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? So it does not apply to me, so no. So what is your date of birth? So let's say date of birth is, let's say, 1995 and August 1st 1995. So let's go to the next page. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid US citizenship? No. So next one, current immigration status in Canada. So I'm on a work permit, so it's gonna be a worker. So does any one of the following apply to you? For most people, all these are going to be no, but I can just quickly read through them. So are you a subject of removal? No. Applied for a study work permit before entering Canada, which was approved but not issued? No. We all get our permits at the port of entry. So I'm in primary or secondary school, visiting exchange student? No. I'm applying for an open work permit under active public policy pilot program? No. I'm a student who has completed a program of study that is a prerequisite to my enrollment at a DLI with visitor status? No. I applied for permanent residence and was found eligible under these classes. So none of these classes apply to me since I applied in express entry class. So I'm just going to choose no. So are you a spouse, common law partner or dependent child? No. So I'm the one who has done his application on his own, so I'm none of these people. So once again, are you a spouse, common law partner or dependent child? No. Let's go. So this is a little bit of a tricky question. This is where a lot of people fill in the wrong answer. So what it says is, have you been told by an IRCC office that you're approved in principle for permanent residence in Canada? So what it really means is, have you been issued the ITA and have you successfully submitted all the required documents for the PR application? So that's why you're just gonna select yes here. And have you submitted a permanent residence application in Canada? So you have already submitted the application, so that's yes. So basically first question means ITA, second question means that you have submitted the application. So do you have a written job offer? No, in my case. So next thing, does this situation apply to you? You have a valid employer specific work permit and you are being abused or you are at risk of being abused. So that's not true. No. So marital status, so for me, single, never married. What is your province of destination? So I'm currently in Ontario, so I'm just going to select Ontario. So for express entry, you should select provinces other than Quebec. So just be careful. So Ontario, let's go to the next one. So just wait a little bit. So here we get the option, right? We can either apply for TRV or we can apply for a work permit. So we are applying for a work permit. So I'm going to continue with this option and then continue. So are you accompanying a family member who has status in Canada? So no, I'm on my own. So next one. So this date is when does your status in Canada expire. So this is the expiry date of your current work permit. So let's say my work permit expires on December 2022. So 2020. Just going to select 2022 December 15. So as you can see that today it's November 13th. So I'm applying at least 30 days before my permit is expiring. So we are good. This is what IRCC recommends, that you should apply at least 30 days before your current status is expiring. So we are right on date. So no worries about that. Let's go next. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC doctor? So yes, I did do my medical for my PR application. So I'm just going to select yes. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? So no. Are you giving someone access to your application? So no, I'm just doing it myself. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints or photo? So yes, I have given my fingerprints when I applied for my work permit. So depending upon your situation, if you have given or not given fingerprints, you can select yes or no. So don't worry if you answer wrong or you're not sure. So as you can see here, this information is only for reference purposes and no immigration decision will be made based on these answers. This is the only purpose of these questions, is to generate a personal document checklist for you. So don't worry if you're not sure and one of these answers is on the lines. So it's okay. Let's go to the next one. So there is fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees? Yes, I will be paying my application fees. Are you able to make digital copy of your documents? Yes, I have cam scanner, so we're good. And will you be paying your application fees online? So yes, you can use a credit card. So let's go. So now let it load and let's see if it's gonna take us to the next step. So here you can basically review all your answers before you proceed further, and then you can click on continue. Now these are the steps that we need to follow, then continue. Let's wait for it to load and see what are the required documents that we have to submit basically. So you can see here we have to fill out a application form IMM 5710. So this is the correct form. Application to change conditions, extend my stay or remain in Canada as a worker. We will also need a passport and then a digital photo, proof of upfront medical exam. So this is a paper that you get from your doctor when you go for your medical exam. And then we also have to upload the acknowledgement receipt letter that we received from IRCC. Once you get an ITA and you submit all your documents and pay the fees for your PR application, that's when you get a acknowledgement letter. That letter you're going to upload here in the client information folder basically. So how do I know that? So if you go on IRCC's website, you can see that they say here under supporting documents, when you submit your bridging open work permit application, include the supporting documents listed in the document checklist. So those are the documents that are here, these four things: application form, passport, digital photo, and proof of medical. And then they also say in the second line, a copy of your acknowledgement of receipt letter. That is also something that you have to submit, and where you have to upload it. So if you apply online, upload your AOR letter in the client information field. So that's what we were talking about before. So if you go back, so it's under optional documents, client information field. This is where you will upload your acknowledgement of receipt letter. So this is not the letter that you first received during your ITA. This is the letter that you receive once you have filled in the application form for PR, submitted all the required documents, and paid your fees. Then you will get a letter which is called AOR, and that letter you will submit here along with the other documents in the client information section. Then you can see there is $255 total fees for this application, which we are going to pay at the end. So let's try and fill out the application form for this one, which is IMM 5710. So if we go to the documents, let's try to open this one. So this form is very similar to the form that you guys have filled for your work permit application. Almost similar fields that you are going to notice. So we can see it's the same form, and now we can start filling the form, right? So UCI number, you can basically find it on your work permit. So you just copy that number from your work permit and just put it under UCI field. So I want service in English. I'm applying for one or more of the following. Now which one would you select? So let's apply the elimination technique. So the fourth one, get a new temporary resident permit for inadmissible candidate. For sure this one does not apply to us, so this one is a no. Restore my status as a worker. Now this is only when you have lost your status. As I said before, like my permit is expiring on December 15 and today is only November 13th. So restore my status also does not apply, so that's eliminated. This option is when you apply for a work permit for the first time or with a new employer. So since it's for the first time, this is not our first time, so this option also does not make sense. So only option left is the first one, which is apply for a work permit with the same employer. Obviously you're just going to keep working at your same job as you're waiting for your PR application to be processed. So what makes sense is the number one option, so select that, and then you can enter your name. Let's say Kamal Preet Kaur, and then let's try to fill out the other sections of the form. So second question is, have you ever used any other name? So no. Here you can choose female or male, or depending upon your situation. And date of birth, let's say, so I forgot what I entered in the questionnaires, but you can choose your date of birth from your passport. Let's say 2001, and then city, let's say Patiala, and country is India. Citizenship, obviously India. And then current country or territory of residence. So currently we are in Canada, so as we are applying from within Canada, so it's already pre-filled. Canada's status is worker, So here you will write the dates when your work permit was issued, when you first got this status, and then the last day of the status, which is the expiry date of your work permit. So let's say we got it 3 years back, 2019, 15th of December, and now it's expiring in 2022, December 15. Let's go to the next one. Previous countries or territories of residence during the past 5 years. Have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship, which is India, or your current country or territory of residence, which is Canada? So if you have lived in any other country other than Canada and India for more than 6 months, you should mention the details. For most people it does not apply, so just going to select no. Your marital status, so single, and then these are not necessary, we don't have to fill these in. Next one, have you previously been married? No. So automatically you can see everything goes gray, so we don't have to fill in anything from these. Language, which is the mother tongue. For example, for me it's Punjabi. See, Punjabi. Are you able to communicate in English or French? So English. So that's not necessary. So everything that's with the star, that's necessary. So you don't want to fill the fields that are not necessary, so you can just leave them. Have you taken a test to assess your proficiency? Yes. So all of us give IELTS, so yes. Passport number, just you can just see it from your passport. So let's say this is the passport number. Country or territory of issue, for example, in this case it's India, and then the issue date. Let's say it was issued in 2017, first month, 1st January 2017, and it expires 2027, first month, 1st of January 2027. So these two questions, as you can see, you won't be able to answer. You can just leave them as is. So if you enter your country or territory of issue as Israel or Taiwan, I think then only you would be able to fill these fields, although they are marked with a star, but you won't be able to fill them, so you can just leave them blank. Question number 5 and 6. Next, national identity document. So this is not the same as your passport. So you have already filled in your passport. Do you have some other national identity documents? So I would say no, and then you don't have to fill in this. US PR card. So are you a lawful PR or permanent resident of United States? So no. So next, let's see. So here you have to just enter your address. Let's say 1160 Jane Street. Let's say we are in Toronto, Canada. Province is Ontario. Then postal code H3H2P4. So you can just enter your postal code here. You can also actually mention your apartment number as well. Let's say 117. So is your mailing address same as residential address? Yeah, for sure. So yes. Now we have to enter a valid telephone number. So it's a US or a Canadian phone number, so it automatically gets the country code or the number. Let's say 438. This is a random number 1 2 Format you entered was incorrect. Okay. Just wait a minute. Okay, see, it should be 4 numbers. So let's try in 438 436 and then 879. Yeah, so that's good. Now here you don't have to enter a alternate telephone number, that's fine. So you can just enter your email address. So let's say Kamal 5695 @gmail.com. So that's taken care of. Now coming into Canada. So date and place of your original entry to Canada. For example, you came to Canada as a student. So let's say you came in 2018 on 1st of January. Let's say you landed in Montreal. You can see this from your passport actually. Montreal, Quebec. So that's okay. Original purpose for coming to Canada was study. And then this you don't need to enter. So you can also enter the document number of your most recent work permit. So a lot of people get confused here because there are a lot of numbers on the work permit itself. Which one is the correct one? So you can actually check your document number by going on to your IRCC account and just look at the applications that you have already submitted and those that were approved. For example, your work permit application. So you can see all those previous applications in your account. Check the one that was approved. Let's say the work permit one. Click on check full application status, this button, and then you can actually see this type of table, and in that table you can actually see your document number for that specific document. So UCI is different, that you can clearly see on your work permit as well. Along with UCI there is an application number, that is not your document number, that is the application number. So if it's a work permit, that number is going to start with a W. If it was a visa application, it will start with a V, and if it was a study permit, it will start with an S. So your document number is actually at the top right hand corner of your work permit. It has one letter and then 9 numbers, but you can check it here and then you can fill that information in your form. So let's say Y123 so you can fill in your document number. And then next confusing question is, what type of work permit are you applying for? So you will get a variety of options here, but you can actually go on the CIC website, and the part that I showed you before here, you can actually see under how to apply. So they are saying follow the instructions for extending or changing the condition on your work permit. When you apply, make sure you select open work permit as the type of work permit. So just go back, and this is a official information on the CIC website. So all your doubts are going to be cleared from here. So what type of work permit? It's an open work permit. So let's go back to our application form. Let's select open work permit, and then you don't have to answer any of these questions. You can just come down and answer this one. Have you been issued a certificate under PNP? So if you receive a certification for PNP, you get a PNP nomination. Select yes, otherwise no. So I didn't, so I'll select no. So have you had any post-secondary education? university, college, training. Obviously yes. So you can just enter about your study that you did here. For example, let's say our student came in 2018, first month, let's say it was. So this is the study that you did, let's say masters of computer science, school, let's say Concordia University, and let's say you graduated in 2019 and you had your convocation in October. So you can see the date on your degree, actually when you actually got the degree. You can enter that month. Usually if you graduate in fall, then it's October, so just enter that. So city, so this was in Montreal, and then country was Canada, province was Quebec. And now about the employment, give details of your employment for the past 10 years, including any government position. So as you can see, there's only three rows that you can use. So you can just fill in, start from your most recent one. Let's say you're working at a company since, let's say, 2020 January. Let's say you are so this is basically your role. Let's say you're just doing Uber, or let's say whatever was your job. Let's say you are a delivery driver. Let's say Uber, and then you can fill this. Let's say for until now you're doing the same job. This is 2022, so we are in November. So you can just choose city and then country and then the province, Ontario. So you can then see what you were doing before January 1st 2020. You can enter that here. If you were studying the way we entered here, you can take the same dates and you can enter here as well. And then the occupation would be graduate student, and the employer or facility name would be the college or university that you were studying in, and then the city, country, and the province. So in a similar way you can just fill these three rows, and then background information, you must complete this section if you are 18 years of age and older. Most of them are basically no. Within the past 10 years, have you or your family member had tuberculosis? So no. Do you have any physical or mental disorder that would require health services during your stay in Canada? No. Have you ever remained beyond the validity of your status? No. Have you ever been refused a visa? No. Have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? So yes, so you did apply for your work permit. You can just give some details here. So you can say I applied for my postgraduate work permit in November 2019, which was approved on, so this is the issue date on your work permit. Let's say you received in January 3rd So January 3rd, 2020 for a period of 3 years. So I applied for my postgraduate work permit in November 2019, which was approved on January 3rd, 2020 for a period of, I'm just going to change this, for a period of 3 years. So that's done. Have you been committed, arrested? Hopefully not, so no. Let's go. Have you served in military or militia or civil defense unit? No. Are you or have you been a member or associated with any political party? Advocated violence? Obviously no. Have you ever witnessed or participated in ill treatment? No. And then you can just consent that okay, IRCC can contact me in the future. Just select yes, and then here is the declaration. You can just sign here. For example, our applicant was Kamalpreet Kaur, and then date you can just put today's date, which is November 13th, 2022. November 13th, 2022. So now you can validate the form. You can actually just go through it quickly and see if all the required fields are completed. So here I want service in English. Here applying for a work permit for with the same employer. Then name is there and everything else looks in place. So you can quickly just take a tour of your application and see that all the rows with a star, they are filled. So we are done, I guess. Everything is there. So this, as I told you before, the employment based on what you did. For example, you had different jobs. You can just, when did you start the job, when did you finish it, and then you can enter all those here. You can enter the time that you were a student as well, so you can complete these rows. So all of them are no except this one, and then we have provided the application explanation for that. Now let's try to validate. So if anything will be unfilled, so it's gonna show up. So let's validate the form. So here it says the following field must contain a value. So here we go. This one we forgot, so this is a cellular. So now let's try again to validate. Let's see. So validation completed successfully. So you're applying online, so you don't have to take the printout and sign the last page. As it's saying here, if you're applying online, you do not need to sign your application form by hand. So just download the form and attach it with your application. Click on OK. Now you can see page 6 has been added, which is this barcode page. So you're ready to go. So now let's go back to our checklist. So my session has expired, so I'm just going to continue my session once again. And basically it's the same thing. You go back and then you attach all the documents and attach this form, attach your passport. So while you're scanning your passport, make sure you scan all the pages, first page, last page, any visa stamps, any other stamps that you have, which you get on the arrival. Just include all the pages, and then you can just upload a PDF of your passport, a PDF of your digital photo, so you need that one as well. A passport size photo, you can scan it and then you can upload it. And then you also need a medical form. the one that you get from your doctor when once you go for a immigration medical exam. And also under the client information field, just add your AOR, acknowledgement of receipt letter, and then once that's done, your application is complete. You can just go ahead and pay your fees, which is $255, I think, and then you will receive a confirmation in your account that your application has been submitted. And then after a day or two, you will also get a different sort of confirmation page that is going to say that you can keep working using the same conditions as your old work permit. So it's gonna say something like work permit extension except PGWP. So that message is going to be updated in your IRCC account, so you can keep checking that. So if you find it useful, please like, share and subscribe the channel. And if you have any questions about the bridging open work permit application, please feel free to ask in the comments. I would be more than happy to answer. And also in general, if you have any other questions about applying for a visa or work permit, or getting a new Indian passport, you can always reach me at the email provided in the description of the video. So thank you guys, I hope it helps.